What's up YouTube? Leon here, and today I'm going to talk about my Anime Expo 2017 experience. I'm going to tell you like stories and kind of what happened during that while I play some Tales of Berseria, because I really do kind of like this game. So, Anime Expo 2017 was probably the worst year I ever had at Anime Expo. And I have been to the Expo a good amount of times. I would say back in 2009 was the first year that I ever went to the Expo. And I went to it every year after that, so around 8 years? Around 8 years of expos, and I have to say this was probably the worst one, and I'll get into that. So with the expo, I usually have like a group of people with me, at least four other friends that I usually hang out with during the expo. Oh, I forgot how to play this game. Whenever I go to the expo, there's usually 3 other people with me, so there's like 4 of us. And the people who usually go with me are Andrew, Jerry, and Akshay, which you may know 2 of them. Jerry and Andrew usually featured on this channel as as friends who play video games with me. I think Akshay was featured in one of the series, specifically the Mario Party one. I'm not sure if he's in any other videos, but he's usually like a console guy, and he has different tastes in video games, so it's not anything too bad. He's still a good friend of ours, but yeah, it's usually us 4 who go to the expo together. We usually commute between our houses. Usually they stay at my place and we go back and forth throughout the 4 days of the expo. But this time it's a lot different than the other years, and I'll get into that. Right, so before the expo happens, actually I couldn't make it because he has some work, or I'm not sure what he was up to, but he just couldn't make it. And the day before the expo happened, me and Jared bought our tickets. They were like $95 for 4 days, and I still remember when he only had to pay like $60 for all days. Those were good times, man. But yeah, we paid for our tickets, and we had to get confirmation from Andrew. And I think the night of the expo, his car kind of broke down and he couldn't make it. It sucked. It was really unfortunate, so it was just me and Jer at that point. I have to say, it was a really weird idea, just us 2 for these expos. Usually it's at least 3 of us whenever we go, so it just being us 2 was already kind of awkward. I personally haven't really drove that much in LA. I think only one other time I've actually have driven in LA, so kind of like a new experience driving in LA, I guess. Even though I only drove once in LA, I still personally hate driving in LA. But luckily, driving to the expo, it's mainly on the freeway, so it wasn't too bad. So we get to the expo, and I think the first bad thing kind of shows up, and it's just trying to figure out how to get our badges. And I think if you've been on the internet and we're trying to look up news on the expo, there's a lot of bad things. Oh man, risky encounter. You probably heard stories of like the horrible line at AX, and it was pretty bad. But at the start, we're just pretty much trying to find the end of the line, and it was pretty impossible task at that point. And it was already pretty weird, like kind of awkward feeling, just because it's just me and Jer there. It's not our usual group. So what Jer ends up doing is trying to look for like another member of his other group of friends, trying to join us, maybe like a Twitter friend or something. And surprisingly, we actually met up with Jeff, Geoff, Jeff the Hero from. You might know him from his YouTube channel, Jeff the Hero. He is like more of a prominent fighting game dude. But he was actually a really chill person, which is cool. But Jeff had the unfortunate timing because we had to wait in a crazy long ass line. There's probably like diagrams of it online, but it was around 2 miles long, the actual line. And Jared timed it to be around like 4 hours, like a 4-hour wait from I think around 10 o'clock to like 2 in the afternoon. It was just ridiculous. And after that line, we were just kind of done. Like the whole day, we couldn't really experience anything because we were just so tired. We were just kind of done. We turned ourselves off after that. So what happened after the line? We were all so hungry and we wanted to get food. Jeff was with us as well. And we went inside, went to the food court, and it was, totally packed, of course. So it's the expo. What do you expect? And I guess we were all feeling pizza, and there was a Brooklyn pizza setup thing. And it was like in big bold letters Brooklyn Pizza, and then under it said New York style pizza, except the word style was crossed out. I guess they were trying to say this is real New York pizza. And it was like $7 for a slice of cheese pizza, or $8 for pepperoni on it. And because it was New York style, it was like really thin pizza. I guess that's their signature type of pizza in New York. But man, we waited again, I think another 30 minutes in that line just to get, shitty slices of pizza. And man, they were really bad pizza. I guess the food inside is very questionable quality. I'm sure it won't kill me, but man, it was pretty bad. Never doing that again. Never buying in-con food again. Oh, that's not even didn't even tell the whole price for like a drink. It was like $4. It didn't matter if it was water or soda. It was just $4. I don't know how much Disneyland food cost. I don't remember exactly how much it cost. But I don't think they were that bad. At least I don't remember them being that bad. But after that, we went to the exhibition hall. Jeff kind of just parted from us. He had his other kind of business to do, which is cool. And we were just tired. Our legs were dead. Me and Jared's legs were dead. We got to spend like maybe an hour in the exhibition hall, just looking at stuff. Didn't buy anything. We just went to the entertainment hall after just to get like some rest. I played a bit of Ultimate Marvel and a little bit of Tekken 7. And I had a pretty good time there. It was cool. Nothing too noteworthy on the first day besides the ridiculous line, of course. And after that, we just went home. Just went back and got some rest. Like, we needed that rest for the next day. I know I'm a little bit late on making the video. It was more like I was just tired after the expo to even like make a video about it. But here I am, like Friday, making a video on it. So the second day for us was mainly a kind of buying day. I guess we wanted to just really buy some stuff. And I guess this is a really good time to tell you why we usually go to the expo, or at least my reason for going to the expos for all these years. And I think it's mainly 3 things. I think the first one is just to hang out with friends, and just to hang out with friends, I think, is number one. Being able to hang out with friends in a different environment, meet up with new people. It's cool. Meet up with people I haven't seen in a while. Second would be merchandise for me, at least. I usually go to the expo, and I kind of like splurge all my money on goods, on Japanese goods, anime goods, and whatnot. Now I'd actually have to say 90% of the stuff I have on display in my room came from the expo. Not gonna lie. For the 8 years of expoing, it's all plastered across my room, which is something I'm kind of proud of, to be honest. I'm a little proud of it. It's just all stuff that I really enjoy. And then I guess the final reason for going to the expo is the atmosphere. Just like getting to go to a convention. The atmosphere is like so chaotic. It's an experience in itself just to be there. You don't actually have to buy like a ticket or anything to actually experience the atmosphere of a convention. Or it's one of the main reasons why I like going to them. It's just because it's so different. Just like the sheer amount of people there who have the same interest. You can kind of like go up to someone and be able to talk about like anime or video games. They wouldn't even care. They'll probably talk about it too. Go up to someone and tell them like, what's your favorite anime? And they probably tell you right away what it is. You can like ask them like, what animes are you watching this season or whatever. You may get an answer. And that's something I think is really cool for conventions. It's like an easy place to like be able to talk with people about the things you like. It's cool. Yeah, so let's go back on topic about the expo itself. This time around, we were looking through the schedule, the panel schedule magazine thing, trying to look for things that we're pretty interested in, and unfortunately, there wasn't that much that we wanted to go to. Like the usual things that we're pretty interested in going to are like the more unique panels. Maybe panels talking about specific shows or specific genres. There just wasn't that many interesting panels, really. And I think it was mainly because they were on panels on stuff that we didn't really care for. If I grab the actual like schedule, I can actually tell you some, but I just remember it just not being all that interesting. And I think on the second day there was like a trigger panel, a studio trigger panel that me and Jer wanted to go to, but I guess we got there too late. When we got there, there was another panel. It was for FLCL 2 and 3, the big announcement on Toonami. Or the big announcement that's going to be on Toonami simulcast, I think is what it's called, where it's going to be released worldwide in English and in Japanese. But we wanted to go to the trigger panel, the one right after it, and it was either that we got there too late, or we just weren't in the correct line at the time. It was pretty unfortunate, but we got to meet some cool people in line. And I believe on the second day we actually left very early on the second day. I think we left around like 6 o'clock. There was still daylight out before we left. And this is the point where we kind of realized that this expo is kind of just not doing it for us. So and again, it's mainly because we didn't have everyone there, all the people that we were going with, or we were supposed to go with. Right, and then so on the third day we go back, and I think it's another kind of exhibition hall day. I actually forgot to tell you what I got On the second day, I just got like I got a Ninja Slayer Figma. It's not the one that I really wanted. I think the one that I wanted was a lot older, but the one I got was pretty cool. I'll probably put like a thingy somewhere on the screen showing it. I guess before talking about the third day, I can kind of give some tips to people. I guess I can give some tips to you guys about, expoing, and I believe this should go with any type of expo. At least for panels and merchandise, I can give really, really good tips. These 8 years of expoing, you kind of just start to know what to do. So I guess the number one, I think it's an easy one, is bring food. Especially if you don't want to pay for really expensive food, really expensive bad food. I'm gonna assume that every convention just has bad food inside. Just bring a lunch, bring a few sandwiches, just something to sustain you, give you energy throughout the day. Water as well, like a big bottle of water, something that you can refill from the water fountains. Just make sure you're prepared for health, I guess not health, but like for hunger, normal people things. You're gonna get hungry. You're gonna be walking around all the time. You're gonna be standing a lot. Just be prepared for that. I guess we'll start with the panel stuff. Panel stuff could be very important for you, especially if whatever panel there is really interesting to you or interests you. And it also depends on how big the expo is that you're going to. So Anime Expo throughout the years never has been that big. If I remember correctly, it was never really the biggest expo, or at least that's how I kind of thought until this year, really. Before, you can wait 30 minutes, like get there 30 minutes before and wait in line and still be able to get in. But that was like a few years back. Now it's like you should, if you're gonna wait for a panel, you should be waiting at least like 2 hours before. Find somewhere where there's people waiting for the same panel and just wait with them for like 2 hours. Especially if you want to get into that panel. Especially if it's like a world premiere or something. Something big. Just want to wait for that. You're gonna have to buckle down and wait a very long time. Alright. So now I can talk about the exhibition hall tips. If you're gonna be buying anything. And I think with the main tip here is not to just buy right away. Don't buy what you see right away. If you see a figure that you really like and you really want it, I would suggest you kind of look around. It's kind of like a swap meet at that point. You just kind of want to look around, look for the best prices on that specific figure, and maybe even look online if there's better prices. You just really want to price hunt whenever you're going into the exhibition hall. I would actually suggest that you leave a whole day just to look around the exhibition hall and not buy anything, just look around. It just gives you like a good feel of where the stuff you're interested in is. So that's pretty good. Those are pretty good pieces of information that I can share on conventions. So we head back to the exhibition hall on the third day, and this is one thing I started noticing. And a lot of booths actually have the same kind of figures. Like there had to be like 15 booths with the same kind of stock. And I think what happens is that from Japan they actually give all these booths the same stock that they could sell for whatever price. And they kind of just roll with it. So a ton of booths start having the same type of figures. And I think this year was like really big into Love Life for some reason. It was like the year of Love Live. I've never watched Love Live, so I can't really say if it's good or not. But there was a lot of figures for that show. If you're into it, that was the expo to go to. Like I think their figures were like 1/7 scale, and they were selling for like 25 bucks each. Not bad, man. By this time, I actually forgot to tell you that we met Liam. Liam from Rising Superstar. Is it Rising Superstar? He used to be with Best Friends. Very cool guy. Yeah, we actually met Liam in line during the super giant horrible line. God damn it, I'm trying to tell a freaking story. We just passed by Liam and we're like, Liam, we're fans, man. Yeah, we passed by Liam in line. He had like he looked so tired and miserable because the line was so long. But yeah, we just met up with him there, and then on the third day we actually met up with him again. He was next to the Neptunia place. If you're like into those Neptunia games, he was near there, alone at the time. We just met up with him, talked to him about a few things, and it was awesome. He was really cool. Actually took some pictures with him as well. Probably put that up, I don't know, somewhere. It was cool meeting up with him. It's kind of like almost like an unreal experience, especially with Jeff as well. Just like meeting all these people that I've been watching for a few years. It is a little bit weird to think that the expo has gotten so big. Yet I feel like each and every year it kind of is not doing it as well. At least this year especially just didn't really go too well. But if I was gonna sum up the third day, it was mainly like the second day. Except we actually did a few things. I think on the third day, that was the first time I ever used VR. I believe it was a Oculus. First time I ever used it. And it's surprisingly not as crazy as I expected. Whenever I hear VR or whatever, I expect it to be like a life-changing thing. And with my first, I guess it also goes with the first experience as well. It just wasn't that crazy. It just felt like putting on a screen on your face with like a computer screen on it, and whenever you move your head, it just moves with it. Again, it wasn't like anything life-changing. That's what I was expecting. That's all I hear about VR. But it's also because I guess the game I was playing didn't really take VR into consideration, really. I played like a custom made with the Oculus Rift. I get to customize a maid and then watch her dance in front of me. That was kind of fun. And I also played a bit of Illusion stuff too. Surprisingly, Illusion was there. Illusion made an appearance there, which is crazy. I always thought Illusion were so like closed-minded about their own games and stuff. They were showing off their VR Kanojo game. Two very short demos, just one where you kind of just mess with the girl. She's like static, but you can like flip her skirt or whatever. You know, normal Japanese things. And the second demo they had was pretty fun. Rhythm game. You just kind of hit notes that come towards the screen with the Oculus controllers. I thought I had a little bit of fun with that. And there was other VR things like a spooky game, a shooting, like on-rail shooting game that looked pretty cool. You had to like sit down on this like rocking chair thing, like robotic rocking chair, and there was fans on the dude. I didn't want to wait in line for it, but it just looked kind of hilarious. Like there's just a setup. Just imagine having that in your room just to play this one game. Man, that was pretty cool. This is all in the entertainment hall as well. There was like a Osu setup. There was like a, I think, 24-hour play games for charity thingy. There was like a melee tournament going on, but it was like 3 stock 1 round. It was kind of horrible. Nintendo made a very small appearance. It was a little Switch thing. I actually got my hands on a Switch for the first time. Got to play a little bit. I'm still not like convinced with this Switch. You're mainly gonna get the Switch just for Nintendo stuff as usual. But that doesn't stop it from being like kind of an interesting idea for a console. I just don't think I'm gonna get one anytime soon. Maybe like the next iteration of Switches. Maybe like the Switch version 2. I mean, I said I was gonna get a Wii U eventually, but I never did. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Besides, all I got to play on it was ARMS, and it was alright. I didn't get enough time with it. I spent like 1 round on it. I played the robot dude with his little robot dog, and I died. I was actually playing against Jer in that. And I forgot who he was playing. Some character. It was okay. I wouldn't say I didn't have any fun with it. It was just okay. What I expected, really. And there was also Blizzard appearance there. Mainly Overwatch stuff, but Blizzard was there. I think this was also the day where we tried out the LA street dogs. And these hot dogs were around like $5. I think they were only $5. But I think if you're gonna buy something at least at this convention, I think that'd be the one thing that'd be worth buying. $5 may seem a little steep, but that's cheaper than anything else. And it was pretty damn tasty, especially when you're hungry. So the final thing we did that day was go to a, what was it, cosplay wrestling panel thing? And I was skeptical at first. I think both me and Jer were skeptical. His group of friends were like, you gotta go, it's really entertaining to go watch this and stuff. And Jeff was also with us at this point. We all went into the panel. I think we waited like 3 hours before just to get into here. And I gotta say, it was surprisingly entertaining. Jeff couldn't handle it. He was out of there like halfway in. And I'm actually not sure if they're on YouTube. I'll probably link it if they are on YouTube. But it was surprisingly entertaining. I'm actually surprised how much fun I actually had at the one and only panel that we went to. And this was actually the end of the expo at this point. We just decided not to go on the last day because we both had no money at this point. We were buying stuff. I bought a few shirts and another figure. Actually a 1/6 scale figure for $30, which is ridiculous. That's a ridiculous price for a 1/6 scale figure. But yeah, we just didn't have any more money. There was no real reason for us to go on the last day, the 4th day. Besides one panel, Mega 64 was there, but I just wanted to spend the money for the gas because it takes around like 40 minutes to get to LA from where I live. It's just not worth the expense of going over there, paying for parking, then paying for gas when heading back. It's just a little bit too much money, man. Well, yeah, I guess that ends the expo for me and Jer. Just a totally uneventful convention, just with way too many people there. But I wouldn't say it wasn't like I regret paying for the 4-day pass, because there was some stuff that I really enjoyed. I got to buy stuff, and the atmosphere is there. The people were there. I got to like talk to some really cool people, got to meet some really cool people as well. It wasn't like a total disaster, really. Alright, let's see. More stuff to talk about. There isn't really much else to talk about, really. I guess just to sum up, AX 2017, possibly the worst year that we've been to. But that doesn't mean I regret going, really. AX has been making changes. They always try to make changes for the better of the con, which is fine. It's always a good thing. Next year they're already doing mail-in badges, which is awesome. They should have been doing that, I don't know, maybe for the past few years now, but you know, it is how it is. This is the first time that the line has ever been that bad. Hopefully panels, we're trying to get majority of panels in the biggest room, so we don't have to wait like freaking 3 hours, even though I still doubt that even in the biggest room that's just gonna get packed, because more and more people are gonna come to the expo. It's gonna be ridiculous. Gotta wait till next year again. I actually don't know if I'm gonna go next year. If I go next year, I'll probably try to do like a video, not like this, but more of like a more in-depth kind of thing, with videos of the con and whatnot. And if you were able to make it to the end of this video, then thanks. I'm just like really rambling to myself, so it's probably not really super cohesive as well. Right, this was Leon from Humans Plays, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I guess I'll go play some more Berseria then.